Welcome back to Stillwater Farms. So in this video, this was actually recently filmed. It was filmed about a week ago. So last week, me and my buddies, I had two of my friends out, and we worked on a truck that I actually have not even shown you guys, that I got like a month ago. And that's this truck right here. It is a 1999 International 4900 with a DT 530 in it. It's a 28-foot long bed that goes on the back of the truck. It's got air brakes, 9-speed Eaton Fuller transmission in it. Yeah. So real fast, I'm going to explain some of the stuff I've done to the truck and what we're doing to the truck and future plans for this truck. So this truck I purchased from a friend of ours. He used to haul steel with it, just like this truck right here, which I do not believe I have introduced that one to you guys either. That's a 1995 International 4700 with a DT 466 in it. I don't know how long that bed is on it, but it's a hydraulic dump bed, I know that much. It's got a 5-speed transmission in it. Don't know what type of transmission, but it's a 5-speed, I know that much. So anyways, this truck and this truck both came from the same people. So I got both these trucks from the same guy, and they were both used to haul steel. This one got used more than this one did. So anyways, this truck, when I got it, it didn't run at all. I had to put new batteries in it. I did a fresh service to it, so it's got fresh filters on it. And the truck is a air ride suspension. So when an air ride suspension is basically, it has these giant airbags, which I'll show you here. Where are you? There. That. See that? These giant airbags right here. And that's your truck suspension basically. So that helps make the truck ride easier. All those airbags, because this truck sat out its whole life, all those airbags were dry rotted. One of them was dry rotted to the point that it was just blowing air out and the truck couldn't even build up air. So me and my buddies, we jacked the rear end of the truck up when it still had the bed on it and tore all those airbags out from it and put all new airbags on it. And then we serviced the truck and we pressure washed the truck actually, which we did that after the bed came off. We took the bed off because the thing was, I'll actually show you guys out here the bed. I didn't really take good photos of what the bed looked like, but it had a wooden deck on it and the truck was through a lot of salt. So all the frame rails, or not frame rails, but the I-beams that run back and forth that your wood mounts to is rotted out. They're rusted and gone. So here's the bed. This is what it looks like. You guys can see it's got, it's really thin. I can bend that with my fingers. It's a really, really thin metal on there because the rust just rotted it out. So that's the bed, and we tore it off the truck. The plan is we're gonna fix it. We're gonna save this bed more than going out and getting a new bed for the truck. We're gonna go ahead and fix it and save it. And there's actually a couple reasons for taking this off. Number one, obviously, bed needs some major repairs done to it, such as all those I-beams in there need to be replaced or beefed up, or something needs to happen to them. A lot of fabricating needs to happen to them. The other reason was the truck, so it had boards here. I'll show you. I don't have the boards anymore. I threw them out in the woods because they were still rotten, but they were 2x4s that this truck had on them that was in between the bed of the truck and the frame of the truck. So they sat right here actually on these frame rails, and it was basically like a little spacer in a sense, almost like a little cushion in between the two frames of the bed and the truck, so then it wasn't steel on steel. This truck had giant all-thread bolts with clamps on them that held the bed on. Took those off. Every single one of them broke except for one. One nut came off. The rest just broke off because they were so rusted. So yeah. So we ripped that bed off and we ripped this off. This truck is actually going to go and get sandblasted in a couple weeks here. Once I do some other things to it and we get the truck, we get a tag for the truck, we're going to go ahead, send it out to the sandblasters, get the truck sandblasted, and make it look nice again. That flatbed over there is also going to get sandblasted at some point. So hopefully, I think what we might actually end up doing is fixing that flatbed and then putting it back on to this truck here. And then what we'll do is we'll send it off to the sandblaster so everything can get sandblasted at once. So yeah, I mean, that's the gist of this truck and what is going on with it. The plan for this truck is a spray tender truck. So the contractor that we have come in and spray for us runs trucks similar to these, except a little bit newer, and I believe they're Sterling, some of them. They do have old Internationals, but not like this truck. And they have very large, massive flatbeds on them. So the plan is we're gonna put a tanker on here, and we're gonna put a 2,000 gallon tank, pump, inductor, totes, so we can mix chemicals on site on this truck more than mixing it inside the sprayer tank, because that gets a little bit tedious when you're trying to mix like 5 chemicals at once. It gets a little bit hard to do that. So that's the plan on what we're gonna do here with this truck. So we have a long road ahead of us before we get to that point with this truck. It's gonna be well into the wintertime. I mean, right now we're in August, and harvest is gonna be coming up in what, September, October, so like 2 months. We're gonna have harvest starting up. And I'm working on the job with Dad on the construction side, and we're slam busy, and it's just, I mean, I took a couple of days off the construction company to come work on this truck, but, you know, I can't really be doing that. I need to be out there with Dad helping him. So this truck is a winter project, really, but I had, you know, real fast, a little bit of time that I could take off, so I took off real fast to start working on the truck. The truck does need some other stuff done to it. Air tank, where the air release valve is, it's a bolt instead of a valve. So I need to replace that. I need to replace that and get that fixed properly. I need to double check all the wiring's good on the truck, which I believe all the lights work on the truck. I haven't double checked that, but I'm pretty sure they do all work on this truck. I'm hoping, at least. This truck, I have to go through electrical problems with it. Yay. I'm not good with electrical on these trucks. I mean, I can fix an engine on here, but I can't fix a electrical problem. So Dad's gonna have to help me on that one. But anyways, this truck does need some other things, such as these shocks right here. These things are so rusted out, it's insanity. One of them is actually literally the point that if you press the shock, it actually just starts flaking off. So it needs all new shocks put on it. Front shocks, rear shocks, gonna replace all of them. We're gonna get all new shocks put on. And after that, most of the work to this truck is done, other than obviously slapping the flatbed back on here and then plumbing it up with all the spray stuff that we want on here. So yeah, this truck actually also used to have a Moffett on it. Is it gonna have a Moffett on it now? No, obviously not, because we don't have a use for a Moffett. But that truck bed is actually, it has the electrical stuff and everything for a Moffett. So if for some reason I want to put a Moffett on here, I could. And this frame on this truck is heavy enough that I can do that. But yeah, it's a 28-foot long truck, so a lot of you guys are probably gonna be like, well, why do you want that long of a truck? The thing is, a 2,000 gallon tank for one of these trucks is like 12 feet long. Plus you gotta have all your hoses, your inductor, room for totes, room for pumps, all that stuff. So at the end of the day, you're gonna probably use 24 feet easily. So yeah, we are considering maybe cutting off, because it looks like this truck was added onto, actually 4 feet was added onto it, it looks like. So we may cut it off and make it a straight 24-foot truck. But then we got to modify the bed out there, and I'm not sure if it's going to be worth all that to modify that bed to make it work for this truck. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, so basically this video is literally just me and my buddies ripping this truck apart. The bulk of it's going to be tearing the bed off. I'm sorry I didn't film like servicing it or tearing the airbags off. The thing was, my buddies have never done something like this before. They've never worked on trucks this big, and I was just trying to focus and make sure everything was good, especially seeing as how I was climbing under that truck. You know, that's not exactly the most safest thing. I mean, I had it blocked up and everything, but still, I gotta be careful and I gotta have my mind focused on this stuff. So I wasn't able to film a ton, but fortunately with the truck bed, I was able to get a little bit more footage because I was a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, this truck, that's the plan for this truck. It's tandem axle, yeah, I really like this truck. It's a nice truck. The drive's great, shift's great. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I can't wait to see what it's gonna do. We're gonna repaint it, by the way, because yeah, I don't know why. It's got Ravens on it. I don't know. Ravens, the football team. I don't know why it's on here. I really don't. I don't have a clue. And I probably ought to address that. Yeah. That happened. No, it wasn't the truck or the combine or the loader or any of the machines in here. It was a four-wheeler. Me and my buddies were riding around real fast before we got work on this truck here, and one of my friends, he didn't turn fast enough, and he couldn't hit the brakes fast enough, and he rammed right into the door. Don't worry, everybody's fine. He was wearing a helmet, he had glasses on, he had steel-toe boots on. I mean, he was geared up, so he's fine. But four-wheeler's fine, he's fine. Four-wheeler's got like 2 pieces of plastic missing. Other than that, that thing's fine. And he walked away with that without a scratch on him. He's completely fine. Nothing's wrong with him. He's not hurt. No concussions, nothing. I mean, he walked away from this just fine. And I'll show you guys the photos here in a minute of the four-wheeler under the door. So yeah, he actually came in and he almost hit the front of the flatbed. So I wish it never happened, but if it was gonna happen, at least he was aiming for the flatbed and not the combine. Because if he was aiming for the combine, I mean, I ended so well. But he didn't even hit the truck, fortunately. So the only thing that got damaged was the door, unfortunately. But at the same time, fortunately, the only thing that got damaged was the door, because that meant he didn't get hurt. And it's a miracle he came out unscathed on that one. Fortunately, everybody came out fine, though. So that's all that matters. But anyways, so that's the end of me yapping, and time for action start happening. So I thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Well, it took us, what, 3 grinder blades and a couple sparks?
A couple hours too.